What's going on, everybody? Thursday now. A little public rundown for you on Lake Fork. March 9th, Thursday, March 9th. First things, I got to apologize. And I don't know how long I've been doing this on the board, but I had 400.21 and 400.22 for Tuesday's report. I was off by a foot, and it just didn't dawn on me when I was telling you. We were 1.8 foot low. 1 foot 8 inches low. When I was telling you that we were 2, I'm thinking that doesn't make sense. I know we're less than that. I know we're less than that. But I made a big mistake, and I don't know how long I was putting 400. We are 401 today, 401.28 below full pool, which is basically really about 1 foot 9 inches below. For every 2.5 is 3 inches. So we're about 1 foot 9 inches below full pool. 0 to 1 visibility in most places. 58 to 64, pretty stable conditions throughout the main lake and main lake backwaters. Some of the backwaters, like way up Little Caney, way up Running Creek, way up Coffee Creek, way up Birch Creek, way up Glade, are even warmer. 67 the backwaters are, and you might even find a little higher than that. Fishing's pretty good. It's hit and miss. It depends on what you're doing, where you're at. It seems like there's a little bit of everything. There's a little bit of spawning fish on beds. There's some reaction baits like chatterbaits and swim jigs. There's apparently even a frog bite. I tied on a frog the other day. We threw it for a little bit, didn't have any blow-ups. Right conditions for frog bite. But I'm seeing some decent information, or hearing some information about some guys catching them on top water, which means frogs. And definitely bed fishing. The other day, I had a couple of tough days, and I told you I had a really tough day on Tuesday. We didn't really spend the day looking at the fish on the beds, okay? We looked at them for about 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, I found 3 or 4 different beds. We didn't really fish for them. It just didn't seem to fit our equation for the clients that day. And we chucked and whined, and we did not do very good. The very next day, yesterday, I went looking at them, and it changed everything. We caught a few on swim jigs, covering some water. But as soon as we went looking at them, we found them. And we caught fish, no doubt about it. Now, did I see any real giant fish, 8, 9, 10 pounds? No. But we caught fish, 3 to 5 pound class. Males are up. There's a lot of males up. The first wave is up and in. What I also noticed, though, is with the moon phase, full moon was 2 days ago, it's changing already. And so we get a good wave of fish that comes in on the moon phases, both full and new. And then once that passes, that wave kind of can fade a little. The fish aren't as aggressive. Usually the moon phases are when they spawn. So I'm noticing, as of the next day, the fish were more finicky on the beds than they were the day of the full moon. So again, fishing's pretty stable on Fork, but you got to move around and you got to cover a lot of water. You really do. And the main thing is you definitely want to be way in the backs. The farther back you go, the better. The main lake stuff, the main lake points, the main lake shell, the main lake pre-spawning areas and things, they're just not, or pre-spawn feeding grounds. Remember, feeding grounds, the places they pull up to pre-spawn feed before they go into spawn. Those places are about to go off. Within a few more days, the main lake temperatures are definitely right. The next moon phase, which is a new moon, is about probably 12 days away now. When we get a little closer to that, we get about 10 days away from the new moon. And the points, secondary points, main lake points, shell beds, stuff like that is really going to trigger up. We're going to be catching some fish on spinnerbaits, square bills, chatterbaits. There's going to be a pre-spawn bite as these next wave decides to come in and feed before they spawn. Here's what really happened, in my opinion. A lot of times you got to be there. You got to have everything happen. And after it happens, you can look back and realize. And you can talk with other guides, other fishermen, and come to some pretty fair conclusions. But here's what happened, in my opinion, and others. I'm talking with another guide. Really brought it to my attention that I realized this happened, but it just didn't click. It's why wasn't there a pre-spawn bite before these fish showed up to beds? And that's because of 2 things. Number 1, the water warmed up so fast. There's 3 variables, actually. The water rose very fast. Water rises fish. the water warmed up. I mean, went from low 50s to 60s spawning temperatures in 3 or 4 days. And we had a moon phase. So what happened is these fish skipped all of the interim and just came from offshore, bam, to the spawning grounds. They just came right in. They skipped all the process on the way. That's the feeding on the points, etc., the bites. We usually have a window, spring window, where everybody starts catching them. Pre-spawn fish are feeding. They're active. That was missed because of everything happened. They went in. They went right in and right to dig in nests. There's hundreds of them. They're all over the place. The east side is much better than the west side. So if you're really looking to see fish on beds, east side always goes first. It's a less amount of water, has less depth and less body to influence the temperatures. So the east side wing is more sheltered from the north winds. And the east arm of Lake Fork, East Fork versus West Fork, East Fork goes off a lot sooner. Usually about 2 weeks to a month sooner than the West Fork. So if you want a little better reaction, a better day, go on the east side. You're going to see a lot more traffic. It's much smaller, condensed, and it's blown up with boats. But that's where you want to be. So I mentioned a few things here in this that if you want to learn more, become a member. I'm going to tell the members here in just a minute the 2 frogs that seem to be the best going on. I'm going to show them the swim baits, or swim jig, that I'm using, that I am catching fish on. I'm going to talk about a couple of ways and some baits that I use for bedfish that really seem to work already this year. I didn't waste my time fishing for the bedfish. If you want to know what those are, you want to know a little upgraded report than what I'm giving you now, you want to know some better areas that are full of fish, you need to subscribe, become a member. It's real simple. Look in the description below this video and hit the join. Go join. Follow the procedures. It's real simple to become a member. I also talked about the moon just a little bit. I just did a Let's Talk Fishing video, and I talked Let's Talk Moon. I talked about the moon effects, both full and new. I talked about spawning effects. I talked about the general basic moon effects. I talked about the 7-day fisherman theory. I talked about the daily lunar tables. And most people have no idea, the major and the minor. The majors are when the moon is overhead and underfoot. That's your majors. When the moon is above us and below us, that's the majors. It takes 12 hours and 26 minutes for the moon to come around. There's 2 majors a day and there's 2 minors a day. The minors are when it's left and right of us. It takes 6 hours for it to get to the minors approximately. But you want to learn more, even more than the report that I give in the members, when you go to the join channel, consider becoming a Let's Talk Fishing member. Okay? Let's Talk Fishing member is the next upgrade. You get a lesson a week, 1 lesson a week. You get all the same things that the members do, but you get access to 1 more additional lesson, a very, very in-depth lesson every week. And you also get access, your name put into a drawing once a month, where my sponsors have donated package baits. And tonight at 7 p.m., I will do a live giveaway for those members. If you want to see that, you want to be a part of that, choose to be a Let's Talk Fishing member. And then you can be in on that. It's usually about a $120 giveaway, $120 box of fishing stuff from Tightlines UV and Impact Lures and Sandtone Lures and Go Fish Lures and Lake Fork Marina Discount Card and on and on. Lake Fork Tackle, Lake Fork Trophy Lures. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on. So, all right, that's kind of the gist of where we're at for the report. Fishing's about to get really, really good on Fork. You're going to see a lot of big fish caught this year for one reason only, and I'll let you go. 2015, the lake reflooded. From 2009 to 15, we were droughted real bad. In 2015, it went to full pool. And 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, we had full pool, and we had some awesome spawn. We had a lot of fish count that survived. And here's the deal. Texas Parks and Wildlife biologists say it takes 8 years for a bass to be born and reach 10 pounds. From birth to 10 pounds, 8 years. We're there. From 2015 to 2023 is 8 years, okay? Last year, Brooke, my best friend Brooke, Bass Lady Brooke, caught 15 fish in April and May, over 9 pounds. 15 of them. In a 9-week period, she had 2 double digits and 15 fish over 9 pounds. The biologists also say that those fish grow about a pound, pound and a half a year. So basically, every single fish that she caught last year, 17 of them total, 15 over 9 pounds, Those are all double-digit 10-pound fish as of right now. I feel that spread out throughout the whole lake. Brooke wasn't the only one catching big fish. She caught a lot more than most everybody did. But my point being made, we're the 8th year from 2015 spawn. A lot more big fish, a lot more double digits are just about ready to show up. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button, comment below. Forgive me for making a mistake on the lake levels. And get out there and do yourself some fishing. All right. It's getting right. Thank you.